Yeah.
Yeah.
And worse than that, most people have this. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to TecSocial. Thanks for coming out. I'm really pleased tonight that we have Ardelle Reynolds and Lindsay Uma from Navigate Startup House. Lindsay's not going to speak.
We'll see.
Ardelle, oh, we'll see. That'd be awesome. Ardelle is, she's the executive director of Navigate Startup House, and it's a not-for-profit hub for technology-based startups and entrepreneurship community to collaborate, cooperate, and grow. And they're currently home to 4 early-stage companies and a growing membership of aspiring entrepreneurs, programmers, and designers, idea people, enthusiasts, and educators. Ardelle is also a Sydney chapter co-lead with Lindsay on the newest and most easterly chapter of Ladies Learning Code, a national organization that offers fun, safe workshops for women and youth to learn programming and technical skills. Without further ado, I'll pass it over to Ardelle.
That intro pretty much covered it. Just kidding. Yeah, so thanks everyone for coming, and thanks to TecSocial for the opportunity to tell you more about Navigate. So for those of you that don't know about Navigate, we are a small tech startup incubator here in Sydney. So I'll start by telling you a little bit about how we got started. So in April of last year, as the UIT students were getting ready to graduate, it became apparent that they really needed and were looking for a way to continue the mentorship that they had been receiving at UIT and to continue with the network that they'd been growing and the collaboration that they'd really built up between the students, and that they were looking for a place to grow their businesses. And it became clear that UIT as an endpoint for these founders and for these companies was not going to be sustainable. So to continue on with the momentum of UIT, we really needed to build that next step. So we looked to Volta in Halifax as kind of the model, partially because Volta was already a partner with UIT. They shared and continue to share a mentor network. And also because we really liked a lot of what Volta was doing around kind of the lean model, starting small, entrepreneur-led, kind of a grassroots approach to supporting startups in a community. Sorry. So as we were getting started, there were a couple of priorities that really stood out for us. And one of them was to establish ourselves as a not-for-profit organization. So we really provide a community service to contribute to the growth and diversification of this economy here in Cape Breton. Another thing that was really important to us was having a downtown location and to benefit from and to contribute to the innovation district that is growing here in downtown Sydney. Also to establish Navigate and the staff at Navigate as connectors. So really the service that Navigate started out and aims to provide is to connect startups and growing early stage companies with the services that they need to grow their businesses. So whether that's mentorship, resources, access to investors, mentors. So as these companies grow, their needs are changing. And so it's really about adapting and being able to provide those services as they need them. So before we found a location and had kind of the practical aspects of things sorted out, we already had 4 companies that had expressed interest and were waiting patiently for us to get it together. And those were Collegio, PizzaGo, Phased.io, and Layers. And two of those companies were UIT alumni. So they waited patiently for us to get our space. And so we chose the New Dawn Center for Social Innovation as our permanent space. And a big part of that was to be close to UIT, who is our key partner. And that allows us to share resources, speakers, to do events together. And it also allows our startups founders to be mentors to the UIT students and to really provide an opportunity for those students to see startups in action and to be able to come up and see that collaborative space and to meet with those startups and see them as they grow, and to, in some cases, and hopefully more as we go on, to work with those startups. Because time was of the essence, we chose a temporary space that could be renovated really quickly. And in true lean startup style, we approached this temporary space as a kind of minimum viable product. So we saw it as a really great opportunity to test some of the concepts and some of the ideas that we had about how the space would be used. And also in lean startup style, and with the generous support of New Dawn, who contributed to the renovations that we did. We did a lot of those renovations as a kind of DIY project. And we recruited the founders of our first companies to come in and help us with knocking down walls, literally, putting up other walls, painting, and pretty much anything else that we could bring them in to do and sucker them into do. So we really had a vision of that space as this bright, open, collaborative space. And in retrospect, we brought a lot of people into that space early on as we were knocking down walls, and there were nails and things sticking out of the walls and piles of garbage. And we would bring people into the space and be like, isn't this amazing? Isn't this such a wonderful space? Because we just had the vision and we really were excited about the space and the work that was going to be done in it. But in retrospect, a lot of people probably came in and like, yes, that is really nice. But it is really nice now. So now that the renovations are more or less complete for this temporary space, we have 4 private offices that are being rented by 4 startups. We have a common space that's used for events and different educational and training, mentorship events that we've been doing, and a little kitchenette. So some of the things that we have been doing so far, we've really focused on the resident startups that are in the space right now. So we've really seen this as step 1 of Navigate. So right now, for the resident companies that are there, we're providing high-speed internet, private office spaces, common workspaces. So that's the bigger open spaces that they can use to have meetings or to do breakouts or whatever. Boardroom access, which right now is access to the New Dawn boardroom, but later down the line, we'll have our own boardroom, and a fast-paced and collaborative work environment. So I'm going to ask AJ to come up as one of the founders that's part of Navigate, and he can talk a little bit about what it's been like in Navigate.
Hi, everybody. I think pretty well everybody here sort of know. My name is AJ Fraser, and I'm co-founder and CEO of Layers. And I've been talking with these lovely women about this idea kind of since they first came around to it. And certainly when we were in UIT, I was one of the UIT students who graduated the program. We had identified that, of course, out of all the things that we would need to be successful post-program to get our ideas off the ground, space was of the utmost importance. Lots of startups start up in their basement or in the living room, and that was great, but we had become accustomed to an environment in UIT where people were sitting back to back, they were helping each other out on problems very quickly, there was good communication style, there was a bit of a brotherhood and bond, there in the program. And because we had gotten accustomed to that workflow in all of our projects, something akin to a Volta-style model seemed really important. And so it was amazing when we found out that this was going to be happening. So our experience so far with Navigate has been fantastic. Myself and Matt, we have a lovely, bright, beautiful office where we have both of our desks. We just put in a third desk, a nice couch, and flat screen TV where we sometimes play video games, which is great. And more recently, we just took on 2 of the UIT students from this cohort for a 5-week project that will be an upcoming component of our application. So it's great to have that space, and I know that when they first came in, their reaction was, well, we're working for a real startup, while we're in this startup school. It's amazing how much that's worth. And when we've met with Bob, who's come in, when we've met with representatives from ACOA and from the federal and provincial government, when we've had MLA and MPs in, to be able to have some letterhead on our door and some nice office furniture and other people buzzing around, they take us seriously. You can't really buy that type of respect and dignity within your own workplace. And so I think that's one of the biggest things that it's brought. And the other thing is some sort of safety net in the very early stages of your startup, which is incredibly important to know that you have support while you're trying to get your company launched. So those are some of the main points I think I want to hit on, the importance of having one of these incubators in our community. I hope that expands, and I hope that not only for their class of UIT students get that opportunity to move into a space like this as we graduate out of it, but then other people through the community that maybe are working out of their basements or their living rooms or things like that. So.
Thanks, AJ. So that programming that we've been doing and the mentorship has really been about connecting these early stage companies to a lot of the really great resources that we have here in our community. So Bob obviously has been a critical part of the programming that we've been doing and being able to really understand what startups need in this community. And companies that are already established here have been incredibly generous with their time. And we've had Marcato come in quite a few times to meet with the startups and to share their experiences and their mistakes and the things that they've done right and the things that have taken them a long time to figure out to kind of help make those early stages less bumpy. So we've really appreciated the companies and the people in this community that have helped us out, including Samson McPhee early on. Were really crucial in giving us an early start with some space early on, and have said that they'll be providing some legal advice to some of the startups. So we're really looking forward to that. We've had some accounting help. We have had a couple of different workshops in the space, and we've had some speakers come in from UIT. So it's been a busy space right now. But like I said, it's really been an MVP. So we're ready to move on to the next stage. And that's why this is really great timing to be here with you today to kind of reach out. So Navigate is now ready to do a lot more of the community outreach part of our mandate. So that'll be opening the common space up. So people that want to be members of Navigate can use the services, can access the mentorship network that we have, can access the programs that we're running, and can use our space to work out of. So that'll be on our website very, very shortly, and some more information will go out about how people can connect with us. We also are looking for lots and lots of feedback from the community about what we need here and how we can provide more services and be as effective as we can be in the community. So we're looking to expand. So like I said, this is a temporary space. So as we grow, the goal is to be big enough to have 6 to 7 startups in the space, to have an expanded location that includes meeting rooms and a boardroom. And so all of those things are coming in the next year. But for right now, our temporary space is working really well. Yeah, so that's kind of what's happening right now, what we've done so far. So one of the examples of a programming, an aspect to our programming and something that we're really proud of is running Ladies Learning Code out of Navigate. And so that plays into our mandate in a couple of ways, but I think the most important way is by supporting the community and by helping the startup community grow. And if the startup community is going to grow, and if this momentum is going to keep building, we need to have programmers in this community, and startups need to be able to hire programmers. So one of the ways that we're hoping to help contribute to that is with Ladies Learning Code. So we provide beginner level workshops to women, youth. They're also open to men, but we encourage men to bring a female learner with them if that's possible. So we've run a couple of beginner workshops, web making for beginners workshops, and they've all been full. And we have an upcoming kids workshop next week that's also full. And so we've really been seeing a lot of people coming out and learning to code and getting really excited about some of these things. And we've had a couple of people that have been excited about looking into starting a startup, wanted to learn more. So yeah, Ladies Learning Code is a really important part of what we do. And we have lots of information about workshops if people are interested. And we have a partnership with Women Unlimited. So we'll be working with them to do some educational aspects of their program to educate more women and kind of give them a taste of programming. And so hopefully some of them will go on and learn more. So that's what we do. And one of the things that we have coming up that we're going to take the opportunity to tell you about is that we're screening a documentary called Code, Debugging the Gender Gap. And it's about women in the technology industry. Do we have that set up?
Yep. Do we have speakers? Is it just going to come from the...
Is it just going to come out of my computer?
Yeah, that's what I'm just
computer.
wondering.
Yeah, I think it's just the computer.
Okay. Well, let's see. Let's see how that works.
If not, we have computer speakers.
Oh, awesome.
Just in case it's not loud enough.
That'd be great. Thank you. So does anyone have any questions while we do that?
Would you like me to play this first?
Sure.
There will be 1.4 million jobs by 2020 in the computing-related fields. Less than 29% of them are going to be filled by Americans, and less than 3% of that 29% are going to be women. I don't think software engineering is a meritocracy. Being excellent or being good at your job isn't enough if you're a woman, in fact. The sort of phenomenon of the programmer is really interested in programmer. It's hard to encourage more women to come into an environment that will sexually harass them and not fund them. As soon as a woman gets introduced, it's like blood in the water. When companies started putting these full diversity disclosure reports out there, it became very obvious, wow, there really is a problem. Something that we need to be trying to address.
Women were the pioneer programmers. They've been written out of history, unfortunately.
Grace Hopper came up with the concept of real programming languages. Coding's magic.
I like coding because instead of us being consumers, we could be like a producer.
The same way that everyone should know a little bit about law and everyone should know a little bit about economics, you probably should know a little bit about computer science.
Growing up, I was actually a system kid. I didn't know that I could learn how to code like so quickly.
The reason that there's a gap is actually related to some really real structural factors.
Girls aren't encouraged to pursue computer science. They're overlooked because, you know, it's the boys that are good at science, it's the boys that are taking apart computers at age 9.
Most students have no exposure to programming.
Computer science should be a requirement in all public schools.
workforce. This is a Rosie the Riveter moment because the jobs are here and we don't have the workers to fill them.
For the digital revolution to truly be great, it can't just be for a certain set of people.
I'm hopeful because I think that the tech industry could move the fastest. If we see the problem, we can debug it.
This is our country, our cities, our communities, our children, our code.
Code. Debugging the gender gap.
So we're showing that at Navigate next Thursday at 7. So we'd love to see you there. We're also doing Business Over Breakfast on Thursday and an InnovaCorp live stream in the afternoon. So if you want to learn more about what's going on at Navigate and if you'd like to come to our events, you can sign up for our newsletter on our website, which is Navigate Startup. And yeah, we'd love to see you in Navigate, or you can just drop in and hang out. There's coffee.